G'day, my name is Rick.
Ciao, my name is Millie.
And this is episode 34
34
of season 3 of
Yonks Ago!
Go! Mate, that was professional.
Season 3, could it be Donny B? Who is he? Just another bit of history that we're gonna get to know in a brand new little season of Yonks Ago. A father and a daughter putting on a show, finding out about people from Yonks Ago. Y-O-N-K-S Ago. Y-O-N-K-S Ago. Fact or fiction? We don't know. Y-O-N-K-S Ago.
All right, back at it again.
Yeah,
Real momentum. Just every Wednesday, like clockwork.
except for that time where it was a Thursday.
Yeah, and all the times where we missed it, and the months in between episodes. But
Yeah.
look, right.
And when it used to be Tuesday
Yeah.
as well.
Hey, look, I'm not saying we're reliable in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying, how reliable are we?
Yeah.
Pretty reliable.
Not bad.
Yeah. And it's season 3, Johnny B, and we're doing quite well. Your voice sounds all right. We were out at a
Yeah.
concert last night
Yeah.
where you got to scream your guts out.
Can't break me, Dad. You can try.
I know. And I was doubtful that you'd be able to pull yourself up vocally.
No.
I thought...
You
but
can't-
I didn't want to hold you back, though. I didn't want to say, hey, leave a little in the tank for the podcast, because that would... No.
Nah. Gotta go all out.
That's right.
Gotta go all out.
So one of the One Direction boys finally came to town.
Yeah. Guess who it is? 1 in 5 chance. If you guessed,
Louis Tomlinson.
you'd be correct.
That's right, the most underrated member of the
I'd
One
say.
Direction
I'd say.
universe. So it's unlikely that you would guess that unless you knew what you were talking about, in which case you definitely would have already known that he was in town.
Yeah.
And we went and saw him. Great show.
Oh, great show.
Quality bangers and, good production values and just an entertaining night all round.
Agree.
5 stars would Louis Tomlinson again.
So would I.
And on the bright side, you didn't do your voice in.
No.
So I didn't even have to warn you.
I mean, I probably should have.
In many ways, fake fan.
Kind of surprised. No,
You gave it everything you had.
Yeah, I'm just like usually less than what I gave last night
Would take
me down. So I'm a bit surprised. Just talking normally,
Yeah.
it's gone.
Yeah.
But screaming.
You were protected by the Louis bubble.
Yeah, I think so.
There was a healing, just a healing vibe in the air.
I think you're right.
There was also probably a lot of COVID in the air, so fingers crossed.
Yeah, I know.
We don't often roll the COVID dice. We're a pretty cautious bunch here.
Yeah, but anything for Louis Tomlinson.
That's right. We were willing to roll that COVID dice for the most underrated member of the
Yeah.
One Direction universe. We
Maybe
did roll the dice. So
maybe
fingers
it was
crossed.
the fact that I had my mask on, so I was I was
Vocally?
screaming. Yeah, I was screaming it out, but it was contained, so it just the power went back in.
You confused your vocal
It
cords.
didn't make me quieter. It just
Protected you.
protected
So
it.
the mask had a twofold protection strategy. It
Yeah.
protected you from potential, virus contagion, fingers crossed. And it also protected your vocal cords from excessive damage. Well, hats off to the mask.
Yeah.
The mask
Anyway,
is really...
wear your mask. It's all I'm saying.
I mean, it's not rocket science, is it?
It's really not that hard. For
But
real.
it is science.
It is. Yeah.
It's just not rocket science.
It is science. You don't breathe as much of your air particles into the air.
We don't want to get political here on Yonks Ago.
It's just the facts.
Yeah, we only deal in facts,
If
as
you
you well
cover
know.
something,
Yeah.
it's not going to get through.
It's, you just up
As
your chances
easy.
of protection.
Yeah.
Why not up your chances?
I know.
We're all about upping our chances here in the Yonksaverse. And that's just one easy way to do it. And if you have to roll the dice to go out to a concert to experience Louis Tomlinson, then you've got to up your chances of protection.
Listen, if you fail to prepare, you're preparing to fail.
Oh, you are getting very zen, very mountaintop master, words of wisdom,
Yeah.
fortune cookie, just dishing out life advice.
Exactly.
Would climb a mountain to have a chat with Millie. But Yonky Doodlers, you don't have to. Millie will come to you via the medium of podcasting.
I've chosen to share.
Why wouldn't you?
Sharing is caring.
Why hold the knowledge in? Wisdom is if you have wisdom, is it wisdom if you don't share it?
Yeah.
'Cause-
Well, I mean, Socrates would agree with you, I fear.
Yeah.
He did like to share.
he built a successful career out of it.
I mean, didn't like Apollo say he was like the smartest man or something? He was probably lying.
Why would he lie? Apollo deals in facts.
Yeah.
Socrates, I always think of Socrates as like a...
What a Socrates. Sorry.
He always I don't know, maybe I'm getting my philosophers confused, but I always think of Socrates as like a busker philosopher. He was a street philosopher.
Oh.
Street wisdom.
Oh, I thought you said a buff.
Oh, yeah.
And I
Did
was
work
like-
out.
I was like, no.
What? You're telling me Socrates didn't have guns for days?
No, Socrates was known as like the ugliest man.
Yeah.
Like he was for real ugly.
That's why he relied on wisdom.
I mean, he could have been buff and ugly.
Yeah.
But
Most of his wisdom was...
I'm pretty sure he was like an old, frail man
Yeah.
in his prime time.
Sure, like old before his time. Like even when he was like 20 years old, which is probably old back in the day.
He's just,
Everyone's like, that old man knows some stuff.
because he was out in the sun chatting to people.
Yeah, he was philosopher
Didn't
busking.
have sunscreen back then.
No, why would you?
Exactly.
But they did have an ozone layer, I imagine.
I don't
So
know.
swings and roundabouts for your busking philosophers. So look, if you do know anything about Socrates, am I right in thinking that he was a sort of a street busker?
Yeah, no, you're right with that.
Just sit up on a street corner and start spitting wisdom.
That's exactly what he did, and he was hated for it.
Yeah.
people put him down for it. They were like, "Nah."
We didn't come out on the street to hear your random wisdom scattergun approach to philosophy. We just want to get from A to B. And you're coming at us with if A, then B, who is C? I A, therefore I B.
They didn't know that much of the alphabet yet. They're like, what are you talking about?
But maybe Socrates will pop up in a future series of Yonks Ago, because he was definitely alive Yonks Ago.
Yeah, I actually already know everything about Socrates.
Oh, so it'll be no fun for you.
I did classics.
Oh, well, maybe we flip the script and
Yeah, maybe.
You teach me about
Or
Socrates.
we do it in like 5 years and I've forgotten everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, classic Millie.
Yeah.
In one ear, out the other.
Yep.
As Socrates always said. That was a classic Socrates bon mot. In one ear, out the other.
Yeah.
So, Donny B, we've left him. He's won the Ashes in England, and then he came back to Australia. But then he got life-threatening membrane...
Peritoneum.
The peritoneum complications. And then
I mean, we've all been there.
Surgery went pear-shaped. Look, if you haven't had problems with your peritoneum, you haven't lived. That was another Socrates one. Socrates would not shut up about the peritoneum. So he's nearly died. Jesse saved him with a telegram. He's come back. He's moved from Sydney to Adelaide to become a stockbroker. Jesse's been doing all his homework for him.
Jesse's on that grind.
Yeah, she's gotten pregnant with their first child.
Facts.
They got baby number 1 on the way. And he's been made captain of South Australia and is earmarked to become the next captain of Australia.
Whoa.
Because he's been the vice captain and they're like, let's just get him in. And I realised this is something I skipped over. This is why he's being, basically fast-tracked into captaincy, even though he's quite a young chap and he doesn't have much captaincy experience.
Is it because he's popular with the fans?
Yes, and it's partly that, but it's also because they think that he's very intellectual about the game. So
like Socrates.
He's the Socrates of cricket. So they think this Don Bradman thinks about the game. He knows about the game.
Yeah.
He is the game. He's become the game. Let's just put him in a leadership position because he's proven that he knows cricket.
Yeah.
Because of the way he thinks about it. But the reason they think that, Millie, is because of how he's shown in the way he analyses the game and the way he writes about the game, and the fact that he's written to the MCC about law changes.
Yeah.
So it's all this work that he's done behind the scenes that have made people think he knows a lot about cricket. But as we've discovered, as all the hints are there, it's not Donny B who's doing all this work about thinking about the game, writing about the game.
Yeah.
It's one Jesse Bradman.
Make her captain.
She's doing all his homework and making everyone think that Donny B thinks about the game in a way that no one's ever thought about it before. And so they're all like, well, let's just make him captain. No one's thinking about the game this way. So once again, Jesse Bradman has done all the heavy lifting.
Exactly.
And has got Donnie B into captaincy roles at state level and now at national level. And once again...
She's doing too much.
Not enough credit. But what's going to happen now? Because she is up the duff and so I can't imagine.
Everyone's expecting so much of him, but he's like, I don't know anything. I don't...
all quiet on the writing
What
front.
even is cricket? Like, what are
So it's going to put a bit of a strain on Jesse's ability to churn out Donnie's homework for him. So that might show him up a little bit. So she does have a baby on the way. He's come back. He's recovered from his injuries and he's scoring freely for South Australia. He is reasserting himself as an absolute run machine.
menace on the field?
Yes. But look, I can't really... I don't want to spin this in a sorry, I can't think of the word. Well, it's not a cliffhanger, anyway. What I want to say is trigger warning, because as I've said, they are expecting their first baby.
Oh,
but
dear.
the heading of this next chapter is personal tragedy. So
Oh, no.
just a trigger warning for anyone out there who doesn't necessarily want to put those two things together.
Yep.
This probably, next bit of the episode probably isn't for you.
Wait, can we just say that this next chapter is chapter 34?
It is.
Episode 34.
Oh, we've done it.
Yeah,
We've
because
finally-
last episode it was just at the start
Yeah.
of episode chapter 33.
And then I just absolutely skipped through.
Nothing happened in chapter 33.
No, it was all cricket.
Yeah, whatever.
We get it. Basically, when I just said he scored, he became a run machine, that was chapter
That was
33.
chapter 33.
I just summarised it in one sentence.
We don't need it. He's done that before. We don't
Yeah.
need to hear it again.
So the Bradmans had a son on 28th of October.
So
I think this is 1936.
Scorpio.
And the news was greeted in Australia almost like a royal birth.
Oh my goodness, don't like.
But doctors
Oh, dear.
warned the couple privately that the child might not live.
That's not fun. That's not what you want to hear.
Yonkers.
Wait, do we get to? Does it have a name?
I do not know.
Okay.
Good wishes poured in from all over the country, while the new father suffered in silence. Just he suffered.
Yeah.
Jesse was like, "Oh, good. Oh, gee, better go back to my homework."
Yeah.
Neville Cardus, who I think is a mover and shaker in cricket, a cricket writer and such, came to see him as planned that same night, and they discussed the forthcoming Ashes series.
Mm-hmm.
Bradman told the writer, he's a cricket writer, that he didn't intend to score any more double hundreds in tests. Oh, fair enough.
Why?
Now, what he means by that is he's going to give freer expression to his game. So the only way you can score double hundreds is if you're a little cautious. You know, you don't get to the double century unless you put in the hard graft.
I see.
But he's like, nah, I'm just going to go hell for leather from now on. Give the people what they want.
Yeah.
They want the run machine. If I score 120 quick, that's better than 200 slow.
Yeah.
And
No,
so
that's actually true. I
yeah.
fear.
So that's how Dadman. Well, at this point in time, he is a Dadman, but I fear only briefly.
Oh dear.
So he probably doesn't want to take on the moniker Dadman just yet. So Don Bradman is locking in run machine mode.
Yeah.
For the tests coming up. He does that at state level already, but he's like, now non-stop runs for me. And so he also told him that he thought the series would be tight, but that Australia would retain the Ashes. Because it's always easier, as we know, to retain than to reclaim.
You can win, but you can also draw.
Just a drawn series will
That
do the job.
is much better odds.
Then he drove Cardus back to his city hotel and stopped off at the hospital to say goodnight to Jessie. Just a little flyby.
Oh, if I'm on the way.
And when he got there, she had been told that the baby would not live much longer. Clock is ticking.
That's not nice.
The clock is on the tickety-tock. And he says to Cardus, I'm afraid the little chap will not pull through. Just saying it as
Is that
it is.
direct quote?
Direct quote. That's what he said to Cardus. I'm afraid the little chap will not pull through. So I'm guessing by that I don't think they've given him they haven't settled on a name, and they're probably not going. Little chap is probably as much of a name as this
Don't get attached.
as this little chap's going to get. We don't want to grow too fond of the little chap because he's not going to pull through. The next day, Bradman was again congratulated by the MCC team who had arrived to take him on. And then the child passed away on the morning of 29th of October.
Oh, so only one day.
So the next day.
was-
Very brief for the little
that's-
chap.
That's actually devastating, I fear.
Bradman pulled out of South Australia's game against the English team
Pharaoh.
that day to be with Jesse in their hour of tragedy.
Well, you know, as he should, I fear.
Yeah, I mean, that's the least.
It's giving bare minimum.
I reckon he probably was like, do you mind if I play some cricket today? She's like,
Absolutely
Donny, not today, mate.
Yeah.
Take at least a day off.
Yeah.
I feel poorly. He's like, I'd love to have a bat, though. She's like, if you do not stick around, I will not write another article for you. He's like, sorry, guys, I'm not. All right,
Yeah.
I'm out for today. It's our hour of tragedy. Flags were hung at half-mast at the Adelaide ground. Gubby Allen, who was the captain of England on this tour, our man Gubby, we like Gubby, Australia's own Gubby Allen, allowed South Australia to keep Bradman's place open until lunchtime in case he decided to play. I reckon Bradman was like, I might still come.
Yeah, guys.
I'll keep working on Jesse. But Jesse's need was far more important. Yeah, absolutely. And greater than a game of cricket. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd think.
I'm going
Eh?
to say, as Socrates often said, duh. Bradman wrote in his autobiography, in the lives of young parents, there can scarcely be a sadder moment. True that.
Right,
True
yeah.
that. The hopes and ambitions of a father for a son, fine and noble though they may be, are as naught alongside the natural love of the mother.
Facts.
Which was the generally held consensus of the time.
Yeah.
Bradman turned up at the Adelaide Oval on the 30th of October to pay his respects to the tourists. So he, back the next
Yeah.
day, not to play cricket though, just to be there
Yeah.
and say,
Right on, boys.
shake some hands, wave to some fans, sign some autographs, and accept some condolences on behalf of the family. So then they deal with that tragedy, but it's not long before Bradman is back at it again at state level and true to his word, racking up runs at an almost cyclonic rate.
Slay.
People have never seen runs being scored with such manic fervour. It's almost like the tragedy has spurred him on, if anything. He's doing it for the little chap. Every time he scores a century, a bit of a kiss to the heavens,
So
touch the
true.
black armband, doing it for the little chap. I wager. And then it's time for the next Ashes series.
Yeah.
So England have...
How often is the Ashes?
Well, the last one was it's kind of every 2 years, but
But it's in the summer.
It alternates so
Yeah.
it's every 4 years in Australia, every 4 years in England, but sort of alternating years
Yeah.
sort of thing. So yeah, there's kind of a 2-ish year gap between Ashes in general. Barring pandemics, etc., and world wars and what have you.
Do you know, what the win ratio is? Like how many England have won and how many Australia have won?
I think it's pretty tight.
Yeah.
I feel like
I looked this up, not recently, but recently enough for
Yeah.
me to remember it, and I feel like we were on top.
Yeah, I feel like we probably talked about it on this podcast or something.
Yeah.
We probably looked it up specifically
Should
for
we
this
pause
podcast.
and look it up?
I'll pause and look it up. All right, we've done our research, and Millie has discovered that Australia has their nose in front.
Yeah, this is what I remember.
But only just. So Australia has won 34 Ashes series, and England has won 32.
yeah,
So it's pretty close.
but that would have been different.
During these days,
Bro.
I can't even begin. All right, I'll pause and we'll. No. And so Australia has a bit of a new batting lineup from their tour to England.
Oh, let's hear.
Guess who's back? Back again.
I was going to say Archie Jackson, but
Rest in
rest
peace.
in peace.
Archie Jackson.
He's moved on.
Our man Fingleton. So Don Bradman's the
Okay, so-
captain, but Fingleton has been selected.
Enemies to lovers.
To bat. Then we've got Badcock.
What?
We've got Bradman. We've got McCabe. We've got Robinson, never heard of him. Chipperfield. We've got Sievers, never heard of him. Our man Bert Oldfield.
Yeah.
Bill O'Reilly, who we love and admire, will get off a train to play cricket. That's all we know about Bill O'Reilly. Someone called Ward and McCormick.
Okay.
Clary Grimmett was dropped from the test side for the first time in his playing career.
Oh, dear.
The omission caused some controversy. The smiling assassin left out. He can take wickets. So it's caused some controversy. Bradman preferred Ward, the bowler,
Oh, it's always him, isn't
who
it?
scored 12 wickets in the test trial match in October. However, there was some tensions between Bradman and Grimmett. They didn't always see eye to eye,
Yeah.
and Bradman seemed to find the champion leggy difficult to captain. Doesn't want another alpha on the
I'm
team.
sus of this man a little bit. He's like, you know what? I don't like this guy. Get him off the team. And they have to listen because, he's scoring runs or whatever.
Indeed. And so now this is Bradman's first series as captain, and there's been a lot of talk that just because you're a good batter doesn't mean you're a good captain.
Exactly.
And in fact, sometimes the weight of captaincy can affect your batting in a way that is detrimental.
Yep.
So a lot of people are saying this experiment will fail. You've stuffed it. And not only that, there's tensions in the team because Bradman is a polarising figure.
Yeah.
Has been from the get-go. Not even our man Kipax could stay friends with Bradman.
Right?
So there's a lot of rumblings.
I'm team Kipax. Got it. I'm just saying.
I love Kipax.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of let's see how this plays out about this series, and the first test is in Brisbane, and let's get a little summary of how this one plays out.
Yes, let's.
Oh man, I had the thing open, but then we searched for the. Here we go, first test, and it's in Brisbane. Millie,
Yeah.
who wins the toss?
This has got to be Australia.
England.
God damn it. I can't get these right.
For a 50-50 thing, you are amazingly poor. Now, England goes into bat. They score 358 quality runs. Our man Bill O'Reilly gets 5 wickets for 102.
Okay, not bad, not bad.
Our best bowler. And then we come into bat. Jack Fingleton, back in the team,
Duck.
100.
Oh, okay.
Makes 100. And Bradman, I think...
Hey, Dad, guess what?
What?
It's the Be Real.
Oh, you finally got your Be Real.
Yeah. Anyways, keep talking. Just do this.
No worries. So Jack Fingleton scores a century. Bradman scores an entertaining 38. Which is low by his standards, but he scores them fast. So true to his word.
Yeah.
He's giving the crowd some good times. And but Fingleton proving his worth and saying,
Yeah.
stop hating on me. I can bat.
You know what? He's been hated on by Bradman, and he's made it to the other side, and he's still on the team, like Slay. I mean, he got back on the team.
100%. And then England come back in and they make 256 runs. And so with a day and a half to go, Australia needs 380 runs. So they've got a day and a half.
Okay.
They've got time, but the wicket looks tricky. They lose some quick wickets. Donnie Bradman comes in, out first ball. Golden duck.
Deserved.
Absolutely stuffs it.
Deserved.
Australia, all out for 58.
Oh my goodness.
58. England wins the test by 322 runs. Don Bradman has made 38 in the first innings, golden duck in the second innings, and they have been embarrassed on home soil in the first test. And everyone's like, pretty good captain you got there. So this is not a good start to Don Bradman's test captaincy career. Then second test is in Sydney. Who wins the toss?
Australia.
England.
God damn, surely.
England wins the toss.
The next time I'm going to go England and it's going to be Australia.
England wins the toss and elects to bat. They score 426.
Oh my goodness.
They didn't even go all out. They declared. So that's plenty of runs for England. Australia comes in and Don Bradman, fresh off his golden duck in the second innings, comes in to make amends. Another golden duck.
Get stuffed.
He double golden ducks.
Is he taking the piss?
2 golden ducks in a row. Australia all out for 80.
Oh my goodness.
Skittled. England makes them follow on. England says, we're not even going to bat again. Australia, go back in and have a bat. And they do a little better in the second innings. Stan McCabe makes 93 top scores. Bradman makes some runs this time, but not enough to save the game. They make 324, which is not enough to even make England bat again. They win by an innings and 22 runs.
Goodness me.
They are 2-0 up in the series in emphatic fashion, and people are talking.
I'd be like, what's going on, dudes?
People are having a chat. They're like, have we made a terrible mistake?
Wait, what was the first test again? Out for 58?
58.
That's like are they not embarrassed?
That is embarrassing. So they're 2-0 down in the series at this stage. And everyone's having a chat. People are having to come out in support. Don Bradman's got the full support of the Australian team, blah, blah, blah.
He's not got my support.
Yeah. So we get to the third test, which is in Melbourne.
All right.
They go out for the toss. Who wins the toss?
Australia
Australia win the toss.
Yeah. I knew I had to keep on it because if I changed then, it would have been embarrassing.
Australia win the toss. They elect to bat. They make 200 declared. I think it's rain affected.
Oh.
So they 200 declared, and then England come in and make 76 declare. So they declare for 76 for some reason. Because they want to force the issue. So they get past the follow-on, I guess, and declare. And then Australia comes in. Don Bradman makes 270.
Okay, that's good.
Out of 564.
Whoa.
So they absolutely go on a tear. They make a lot of runs. And then England comes in and make 323 in reply. Australia wins the match by 365 on the back of Don Bradman.
That was a confusing match.
It was confusing. There was a lot of strange declarations going on. I can only imagine that rain affected it, but then they had clearly a lot of time to score runs towards the end.
Yeah.
So a bit of back and forth, a bit of interesting captaincy, you'd say, that paid off for our man Don Bradman.
Yeah.
And he's settled things down a bit. He's got a win on the board.
Yeah.
He's got some runs on the board. And he's feeling a little calmer, a little better.
Well, that's good. You didn't want them to win that match because then they win the series.
It's all over. So they're still in it.
Yeah.
And again, they have the Ashes, so they only need to draw the series. But they've still got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Because they're 1-2. 2-1 down in the series.
So they've got to win.
They've got to win at least one more.
Yeah.
But hope that England do not win either of these next tests. Otherwise, it is curtains.
Yeah.
And they have lost the Ashes. The fourth test is in Adelaide.
Okay. Home ground.
Donny B's new home ground. They go out for the toss. Who wins the toss?
England.
Australia wins the toss.
Yeah.
And elects to bat. And they make 288 in the first innings, but then England bats even better to make 330.
Yeah.
So they've thrown down the gauntlet. They're in a strong position. But our man Don Bradman just flexes in the second innings, 212.
Okay.
For a man who said he wasn't going to score any more double centuries.
Well, maybe not try to score.
That's not his goal.
If it happens, it happens. If he just doesn't go out.
Yeah. Hey, if I keep scoring runs, I keep
but
scoring runs.
But he's not going to be like, I'm staying in.
Yeah. So they make 433. So he's made over half of those. No, just under half of those runs. That's maths. And they get on top of England. So Australia wins this match by 148 runs. The series is tied 2-2. Suddenly Australia.
That's actually lovely. Good excitement for the series.
Yeah.
It's like England slay 2-0. But then Australia come back and then it's on the final game.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
And now Australia's in the power position though because they only have to draw this game.
Exactly.
So they've gone from really struggling to like, well, this is looking pretty nice for us. Just got to get a draw on the board and we reclaim. But you can only imagine that Don Bradman, who we know is a very competitive fellow, doesn't want to draw the series, doesn't want to retain the Ashes that way, wants to get a thorough victory on the board. And to come back from 2-0 down.
From 58
tantalizing, from double golden ducks to win the series. Wouldn't that be nice? Mm-hmm. And so fifth and deciding test is in... we're back at the Melbourne Cricket Ground.
Yeah, we are. Woo!
They go out for the toss.
It's Australia.
Australia wins the toss.
Come on.
Australia wins the toss. And they elect to bat. Australia have a very good time of it. Don Bradman makes 169 runs off 191 balls. So he's not mucking around. No. Australia makes 604.
Whoa!
So everyone's cashing in. I'm guessing Fingleton scored some runs.
Yeah.
And then they get England all out for 239, make them follow on, and skittle them for 165. Wow. Australia wins by an innings and 200 runs with an absolute...
How did they do it?
I mean, Don Bradman was just doing the ropey dope. That's all I can imagine. So he has come from people calling for his head to everyone saying...
maybe that's what he was trying to do, make England feel comfortable and then absolutely just unleash the beast.
And you know who always suggested that was the way to win? Socrates.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
If Don B was not reading the complete works of Socrates to get his captaincy strategies in place...
Actually, Dad, one thing about Socrates is that he never wrote anything down. That's one thing about Socrates. And it was Plato that
scribed.
Wrote... stuff about him, and that's how we know stuff about Socrates.
Well, I think that's definitely what Don Bradman was reading.
Yeah.
Plato's take on on the Socratian method. So, because I've got to say, this victory's got Socrates written all over it. The ropey dope, the double duck, everything. Socrates likes to break it down before you build it up.
Yeah.
And Don Bradman was not afraid to do that on the national stage, on an international arena, to get the W. And he's done it in emphatic fashion. He's scored mountains of runs. He is the only captain to come back in a 5-test series from 2-0 down to win.
Only captain ever to this day?
As far as I can tell. I've done some research.
Whoa. There you go.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
All right.
Anyone out there. But no one has as yet come back to win 3-2 to win a series.
Yeah, that's especially when you went that terrible in the first two things.
Unheard of.
What are they called? Tests. Matches.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that's all the time we've got. What a roller coaster. He's had some personal tragedy. He's been up against it. He's drawn on the Platonic scribing works of the Socratian method to find victory in the ashes of defeat. And now he stands prouder than ever.
Yeah.
If anything, his legend was on the precipice of taking a real hit.
Yeah.
But it's emerged ever stronger. This man. He's done it for the little chap. He's done it for Socrates. And
little chap Socrates reincarnated.
I mean, it's all there. So where to from here for our man Donny B?
I don't know.
We'll find out in the next episode of Yonks Ago!
Slayed that finish, Dad.
Sure did. Just like Socrates would have wanted.